Hello everyone, my name is John Beskup. I am user Electric Trumpet on Reddit. I run the r/Electric Trumpet subreddit, as well as the website at microcosmologist.com, and this is a video overview of my electronic trumpet pedal board. I'm going to do a series of other videos talking about each of these pedals individually. However, this video is meant to show the whole system and how I've got everything connected in case anyone has any questions of what I'm using and generally how it works. So I'm just going to step through the signal chain. The very first thing is my King 1960s cornet, which is an awesome instrument. I've got it hooked up with a Barkasberry trumpet transducer, as you can see right there, which is exceedingly hard to find, sadly. It's also sealed with a little bit of silicone sealant like you'd use for plumbing. That connects to this female-to-female quarter-inch adapter, which is simply connected to a cable that goes out to the first pedal in my chain, the Eventide pitch factor. This is a fantastic pedal for pitch shifting, as well as a whole host of other things. This is probably the most complicated pedal in my rig. Complicatedness is a double-edged sword, so it can do a lot of different things, but sometimes in the heat of the moment when you reach for it, it's configured to do something totally different than what you want it to do in that very moment. That'd be the downside of complexity. It has an expression pedal, which is connected, and I'll show that in a brief moment. I'm going to move the horn out of the way for now. The second pedal after this is the Boss OC2 Octave pedal, which I like a lot. This is the Japan version, so supposedly it tracks a little bit better. You would think that with a pedal like the Eventide pitch factor right in front of it, the OC2 would get kicked off the board, but as I just mentioned, sometimes over-complexity is a bad thing, and a simple one-trick pony like this is great when you're in the middle of a jam and all of a sudden you think, hey, you know what would be really cool right now? Octave down. Just click this button. There you go. So the octave from there right now is hooked up to a temporary pedal, the Sala Gold FX Funkzilla. With a name like that, how could it be bad? This pedal has a lot of complicated functions with regards to tap tempo. That's what all these switches are doing. This is all tap tempo control, direction left and right. Anyway, I'll do a separate video on this pedal. It's an envelope pedal, so it gives it that wah 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 sound. Then from the Funkzilla, we go down here onto the floor into possibly my favorite pedal, the Morley Power Wah, which is from the 1970s. It's got an extraordinarily deep sweep to it. So way down here on the heel position, it's almost like a bass wah. And it's got a really nice bite to it. I like it a lot. It goes back up to the top of the board and connects to this guy, the Damage Control Liquid Blues drive pedal, and in use I would have it set something like that pretty much. That's how I generally have it. The text is worn off of it. This is the volume knob. Clarity, drive, which I always keep down. Opto compressor, which is a big plus. I like that a lot. And then bass, treble control. I generally use that basically as a volume and a light, maybe tube drive, because it has two tubes in it, as you can see there. This outputs into the Malleco Bit, which is technically a sample rate reduction pedal, not a bit crusher. I wanted a bit reduction pedal that did not incorporate a drive into it, because generally speaking, I'm not a big fan of having a lot of overdrive on your trumpet. I sort of like the normal clean trumpet sound, and a lot of bit crushers come pairing those two as if they were one. So this pedal is great. As you can see, I actually modified mine with this big fat chicken head knob here. Most of them are normally not like that. They have two knobs like this. The bit is feeding directly into another rental pedal from pedalgenie.com. If you go to pedalgenie.com, check out all the things they have for rent. It's a fantastic website. I highly recommend it. And if you join, refer me, John Bescup as you refer, it gives me 20 bucks. Little known fact about myself, I love 20 bucks. So this is a phaser pedal. It's got expression output control, which is really cool. I'll do a separate video on this pedal. This phaser pedal feeds into a splitter. So this is a custom Saturn Works splitter pedal. It's just an A-B splitter. One of the A channels has a second output on it, which I'm currently not using. The way I had it when I initially got it, I was using that, but right now it's unused. So it's a standard A-B-Y. We're going to follow the A leg of the chain, which is now split into two. The next thing in the chain behind that is one of my other favorite pedals, the Glass Nexus, which is a wonderful, wonderful pedal. As you can see, it's a multi-effect pedal from Damage Control, and it's got most of the modulations you could ask for. What do we got there? Detune, vibrato, flanger, U-vibe, tremolo, chorus, rotary, and phaser all in one. But the best thing about this pedal is the, I don't know what you call these, dual knobs. So here's your delay knob. The outer knob controls the repeats function, so the feedback, and then the upper knob controls the wet-dry. So this is great with your left hand for trumpet playing. You can manipulate both of these at the same time. So you would, say, turn the repeats way up with a lot of presence to it while you're not playing anything. And then when you stop, you could turn this down. Now the repeats go way down, and then the wet-dry goes way down while you're playing a new phrase. And then boost it back up. Both of them at the same time, not at the exact same setting. Very nice. I bought this pedal for its well-reviewed reverb here. I do like the character of the reverb quite a lot, but the playability of this delay is really what I've used quite a bit more than anything else on it. This is out of production and a hard-to-find pedal, but if you come across one, I dearly love mine. The last thing in the A signal of the chain is this Super Pulsar, which is another rental pedal from pedalgenie.com. Again, go there, refer me, John Bescup. This pedal is, again, very complicated, and as you can see, it's got a million different settings on it, which is pretty cool. I'm going to do another video that shows this. So, back to the splitter. We just talked about the things in the A end of the chain. Now let's go to the B. From this splitter goes into the venerable Line 6 DL4. I think this pedal is pretty well known. I'm not going to say too much about it because everybody's got this pedal. And that feeds directly into probably my most interesting one, which is the Mooger Bass Murph. Murph stands for Multiple Resonant Filter. And as you can see here, there is an array of different filters at different frequencies here, which you can manipulate in all sorts of different ways. And then it runs through a pattern bank, which you select here, and then you can control the envelope from one end to the other. This is basically, my envelope is either set all the way on one side or almost all the way on the other side. And they just kind of give a different sound. This is a really interesting textural pedal, and the way it's being used here is basically the DL4 is generating some type of infinitely long delay, and then the Murph is turning it into some sort of bouncy, rhythmic texture. Coming out of the Murph, when I'm not using these two, usually in parallel, the newest pedal that I have is this TC Electronic Flashback stereo delay, and I got it because it has a very rich stereo sound. So the stereo signal begins here at the Murph, comes out as you can see in these two cables, which I need to replace because they're too short. I need some longer cables to run around and not be right in the way. So the Flashback has some excellent stereo sounds. It's got a very wide field. If you're wearing headphones and listening to your recording with it, you'll hear it instantly when it comes on. And then the Flashback outputs to the MM4 Modulation Modeler, which as you can see I labeled with a few different settings here. We've got Opto Tremolo, Rotary, Ring Modulator, and then Dimension, which is a type of chorus, I believe. I've also modified mine with another chicken head knob up here, and this is hooked up to the expression pedal control jack. So this is expression control. And to show what's going on the floor, I've got a few other things. Oh, you know what? I left out one pedal on that B chain. So the Maestro phaser right here with the awesome label of speed and ball control there. That is actually right after the DL4. So the DL4 signal drops down to the floor for just 1 second to this Maestro, and then back up to the Murph right there. And I like to have this phaser inserted after the delay, because this is a wonderful phaser. Right now I have 4 different pedals that can do phasing on this pedal board. This is the best. It's very simple to operate with your foot. You can change these settings easily, which, you know, it's intended for guitar players. Balls, I generally don't go any higher than 5 because that's pretty potent. And then speed, I like to have it at the low speed. It sounds really good. This is an expression pedal which is currently controlling the Apollo phaser. So you can use it to manually control where the phase is interfering with the other portion of the waveform, which is a super awesome idea that more phaser pedals definitely need to incorporate. They say that you can use that as a wah, but in reality it's more like a textural, you know, you'd use it slowly. You wouldn't waka chicka with it. And then you've got this Ernie Ball expression pedal right here, 25K pot, which is hooked up to the Eventide pitch factor, so that controls you know, the whammy functionality, pitch shift. And then the last thing I've got down there is a tap tempo, which is hooked up to the Murph. So that's pretty much my whole setup. The only other thing is this vintage Electro Harmonix power booster drive, which is not currently in the chain. And of course, the first thing you'll notice about all this is that this is built up at waist height, because being a trumpet player, I can easily just reach out and manipulate any of these with my hand as a jam is happening, which is, you know, the whole advantage of this setup here. So that's pretty much my pedal configuration right there. When I record, I'll be using stereo output from one end of the chain, and then the second stereo output from the MM2, and combining them using a powered mixer here, which has got cables all over it right now. So those are the cables that I'll input into those channels there, this powered mixer. And then that will connect using these adapters right here directly into my multi-track recording interface. So my pedal board is feeding through this mixer directly into the recording interface, which is how I like it. I don't like to amplify my amplifier. I like to feed the pedal board directly into the recording interface itself. So give me a shout in the comments if you have any questions or comments, or, you know, whatever you want to say, something, say it. I'll post some links in the description of the video. If you hit show more, there'll be some links to hear some sounds or other videos and whatnot. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.